Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Southwest NASCAR Sim Series live stream. Today's race comes at you live from the Watkins Glen International Raceway for race number 17 on the season. Joining me today will be none other than Ben Pie 1024 and
Hello.
Builder.
Hello. Don't forget to stream on Discord.
Yeah. So, most voted quote unquote most popular track of the NASCAR circuit, Watkins Glen International Speedway. It's in a seven-turn road course.
9, I believe.
9.
Yes,
Darn
nine
it! Just
turns. Well, nine numbered turns anyway for the road course at Watkins Glen International. But before we get down to the racetrack, let's take a look at the point standings. Coaster Enthusiast currently scored uh, currently scored as first, which is completely unsurprising.
You forgot to move some of these around, but
Yeah, I noticed.
I'll do that real quick.
I'm
uh,
doing it.
so. Hey, Dib. Let's talk about the
Oh, I see.
big.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that, but hey, Dib. After we get over the points, a big talking point is Flash McClashy. His win at Darlington moved up from 22nd to 14th in the point standings. That's kid. I have never heard of a more better point stay than that.
And we had been talking for pretty much we'd been
The,
talking
the,
for a majority of that
like
race
about like he
about
needs a good points.
how points were gonna work out. Um, and by winning that race, Flashy moves 22nd to 14th, 12 spots, just by winning it and getting a good point stay. Uh, we'll go
Actually,
through the field here. Coaster is still in first place, but today's race coming in, uh,
need a little help there, bud.
I made a mistake.
Oh, Bill making a mistake. That's
yeah,
something you never hear of.
Coaster comes into this race only 86 points ahead of Sam Blaney, and then Ad is
Actually,
two,
at Smith.
uh,
Yep.
37 points back, and then Cole McElmoyle is in fourth, Payson Avery fifth, Sharon Kyle sixth, Emily Winters seventh, Ryan Boyer eighth, George Uriarte ninth, Adrian Mobley 10th, DNP 10 and 11th, Matt Wynn 12th, Robot Spider 13th, Flashy McClashy 14th, Ben Pierce 15th, 16th belongs to the 26th of Matt Nile, Winterwolf in 17th, 18th is Creeper of Hope, 19th Ben Navarro, 20th is Garrett Shima, 21st Max Weisner, 22nd Carlos Tavares, 23rd Chris Ganaban, 24th Matt Vanswicki, 25th James Youngeman, 26th Brian Anders, 27th Brandon Delpino, 28th Muse Better, 29th Parker, and running at your field today in 30th is none other than Greninja Talonflame.
Oh, is that the points?
No.
That is the
Oh,
point
you're not streaming
standings
the
for
race.
today's
Oh,
race. Um, but now it's time to get into it. The actual race coming at you once again from the Watkins Glen International Raceway, and boy, howdy, do we have a race for you.
uh, I mean, 9 turns, 30 car action. This I actually cannot wait for this race. Bill, what do you think about it? And let's actually first off, let's talk about favorites here. Dib,
Well, from some of the races that we saw earlier in the season at CTMP, just to name one, it's just kind of all over the place. CTMP and Honda Indy Toronto, you really did not know who was going to win that race. Everyone was shuffling. It seemed like the leader kind of had an advantage. Uh, Sonoma Raceway, Banswicki led every single lap. So it seems like cars up front are going to kind of stay up front unless there's a wreck in the front of field. So until we see who's pole, I mean, we can't really make a prediction yet, right? So I don't know. It
I
should be
th-
an exciting one.
I think this race is going to be a little bit uh more like the races that we saw from the the race we saw at Canadian Tire, where it's really aggressive racing, but not a lot of cautions, and we'll see some pretty good racing here throughout the day. But we are here now for the Watkins
So,
Glen International
alright.
Raceway, and cars about to head out onto the racetrack
Roll it off.
to begin
So,
the initial practice session.
so, Jim, I have a question. Who do you think? I already said this once, but again, who do you think is gonna win and why? Actually, it's a question for both of you. Who do you think is gonna be the ultimate favorite? And I think this, I have no clue. This is a toss up for me, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on that question.
Well, I'm gonna wait. I think until after seeing who runs first in qualifying and maybe even practice and happy hour before I make my pick. But I've seen a fair amount of good cars throughout this season. I think everybody's gonna really have a shot at winning this because, again, as it's another road course, it is gonna be a little bit of a toss-up, seeing as these drivers have to remember what it's like to turn right.
But
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on it earlier in the stream. You know, it's going to be the guys that are up front because you won't see guys that start way in the back get up there. And it also is kind of whoever survives restarts because we always see turn one on restarts here at Watkins Glen be a huge problem for these drivers. It's such a tight corner and there's not much space to move that it's just kind of a game of survival basically going down into turn one on a restart. So I think it's going to be someone up front. You know, we can't really name any favorites yet. We'll have to see the speed charts. But I don't know. I'm just going to go a random pick. I'm going to say the 26th of Matt Nile gets it done once again. From seeing what he did at Honda Indy Toronto, this is somewhat of a similar track just based off it being a road course. But I think that 26 gets it done today.
uh, when I, as my initial pick, I think he might not win, but he's gonna run a fantastic race. It's Flash McClash off him. A fantastic put stay. This is again a extremely important race for him because he needs to get and get. Hey, I can be up front and win a championship, but I only need good and consistent results. I hope I did say consistent results.
One thing to note, there's only 3 races left in the season. Watkins Glen, a huge wild card being a road course. Everyone in the top 5, top 10 is going to have to win this race because the next race is Talladega Superspeedway. And we all know Talladega is the biggest wild card this season. It is pack racing. It is extremely close. One mistake and you could take out 20 cars. So no one wants to leave their championship hopes on the line at Talladega. So everyone's going to be trying to get it done today. After Talladega is Homestead. Obviously, we don't have playoffs. We go based off the 2003 point system. But it's just, I think if depending on where the top 5 is after Talladega, you know, where they finish, I think after Talladega, it's really going to be anyone's game. If we see that 54 wreck out in Talladega, and there's going to be guys from and gals from top 10, top 15 that finish up front, it could be a battle within 20 points. You know, it could be a real life situation of which the winner of that race could be crowned champion. Like, because we brought it up with Flashy McClashy, he won the race last week and gained 12 spots. DNP said you could throw a blanket over from like 7th to 20th, and they're within striking distance of one another. So, if that 54 has a rough 2 weeks, man, it's going to be really intense to see what's going to happen at Homestead.
uh,
So
Someone in my chat said, "Oh my gosh, I'm watching this in HD and it still looks like I'm watching through a potato."
just imagine what we're
well,
looking
you're
through.
well, Brandon. To be fair, you have chosen to watch a race in a game from 2003. So,
Yeah, you're not going to get much better from this game.
It's better quality than this potato piece of food. So
but my initial pick, I've got to go. I know you guys, taking into account the 29 and the 77. I've got to be keeping an eye on this number 2 car of Matt Banswicki. Um,
oh
he's
yes, well,
he's
hold
been
on, I know
having
this super
a
quick.
bit of a rough season, but started to turn it around a little bit towards the last half of this season. Um, and he's done a really good job of getting back into things. Uh, Banswicki was I believe 29th for a pretty significant portion of the season, and now he finds himself in position number 24. And oh, by the way, the last racetrack that he won at, and in fact the only track that he's won at this season, just so happened to be the road course in Sonoma, California.
You're
So look for
absolutely
that.
right. Ever since Chicagoland, this two teams been putting together really consistent finishes and has been able to kind of gain a little bit of traction in the points. I still think they're a little bit too far back to be able to win this championship, but yeah, this two
Hey,
teams been really strong ever since Chicagoland. He couldn't quite get it done in Chicagoland, but he came back the very next race and led every single lap. He did not make a mistake at Sonoma.
Well,
so
that will
let's
do it
actually
for coverage of practice.
let's see who's in the lead actually for practice. Actually, before we go, I'm
According to the
quite curious.
standings, Brandon Del Pino,
Del Pino and
Robot
Rob
Spider, and Matt
Drivers,
Banswicki were the
to
top
Spider.
your
three.
cars.
Greninja Talonflame, Adrian Mobley running out the top five. Then DNP underscore 10, Creeper of Hope,
Oh
Crash
my
Weisner,
God,
Chris
look who's in
Canavan, and
20.
Brian Anders
Sorry for cutting
top
you
10.
off, but look who's in 27. Sorry, I just got excited.
Oh,
I
Ben's
just
Crush is in 27 now.
Oh yeah, that's right. We've got yeah. Well, we'll see if anything interesting happens in this race concerning the 11 or the 15,
I'll be back.
because I believe Ben would be very interested in seeing
oh,
what
quiet
happens to either
you.
of those
Oh,
race cars.
oh, quiet you. Oh, quiet you. Let's
Here we
see.
go. We'll go through the starting order for this race.
Drivers, to your cars.
I'm going, well,
Go to hell of a chapter. Oh, okay, we're not going to hell of a chapter.
let's pause for the time being. So,
Just a
capturing the
second.
pole is actually going to be the number 8 of DNP underscore 10
Wait.
in the Southwest Airlines Toyota Camry. And then position 2. Actually, let me double check that. No, the pole goes to the number 14 of Ryan Boyer. So Ryan Boyer is your pole sitter in the number 14 Haas Automation Ford Mustang. Second is DNP in that 8 Southwest Airlines Toyota Camry. Third place, row 2, will be Max Weisner in the number 1 Budweiser machine. And then rolling off in fourth is the 26 Miller Lite Ford Mustang of, that would be Bob Miller. Or Bob Miller. Bob NASCAR, aka Matthew Nile, rolling off fourth. And then starting in the fifth position is the 61 of Cole McElmoyle in the PPG Paints Chevrolet Camaro, the number 61. And then the 15 of Emily Winters, who I believe is Ben's favorite car other
Shut up.
than
No,
his
it's
own
not.
on the racetrack, rolling
Man,
off
my
sixth.
favorite car is my
That's
car.
Emily Winters in the number 15 Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro. Rolling off in seventh is the 12 of Parker in the John Deere Ford Mustang. And then position number 8 will be Matt Wynn running out row 4. Row 5 sees the number 5 of Payson Avery and the number 77 of Flashy McClashy, the Boring Company Dodge Challenger. And now Ben with 11th through 20th.
So we have Rob and the 25 whatever, and Matt Rusnitsky. God, I butchered that. Then we have
Spanswicky.
the Banswicky. Thank you. Then we have the number 11. I think in what place is that?
That would be 14th. Or no,
And
13th.
13th is the Bass Pro number 11 Camry of that by 1024 or Camry Lover. And we have the 42. That's in 14th. I don't know any of these cars. Hey,
Brandon
Will,
Delpino.
look! Delpino. And then in 16th, I think, is
15th.
Ad 15th, Ad with the Home Depot. And 19th, oh gosh.
16th.
Bill, take it away. Take it. Just take it.
In 16th spot is the DuPont Dodge of Chiron Kyle.
Thank you.
17th place is the 78 Mountain Dew Baja Blast Chevrolet Camaro of Glen Engine Flame. And 18th is the Pepsi Toyota Camry of Carlos Tavares. 19th position is the Napa Toyota Camry of Late Yagami. In 20th is the 44 Apple Toyota Camry of Creeper of Hope. In 21st is that 22 Silver Coors Light Toyota Camry of Sam Blaney. 22nd is the Coca-Cola Ford Mustang of Me Was Better. And 23rd is the 54 Allegiant Dodge Challenger of II Coaster Enthusiast. Behind him is the 24 Exalta Chevrolet Camaro of George Uriarte. And then the 9 Valvoline Ford Mustang of Chris Canaban. The 18 M&M's Toyota Camry of Adrian Mobley. The 88 Mountain Dew Chevrolet Camaro of Winterwolf. The 99 Aflac Ford Mustang of James Youngman. The 27 Billings Gazette Ford Mustang of Garrett Schima. And then the 3 Bang Energy Chevrolet Camaro of Brian Anders rounds out our field.
The illegal Mexican. Thank you.
Professionalism, Ben.
At its finest. I was just so caught up on Dixie Blonde.
I guess we won't get to see the command, but that's okay. Field rolling
They did
off.
it during practice.
Thank you,
Field
Phil.
rolls
I was
off.
laughing because Dib said Bob Miller.
Actually,
I mean,
we're
heading
just gonna skip the entire pace lap. Why don't we?
I mean, I think we're heading to the bus stop now. We're heading straight into the bus stop.
Nope, this is gonna
Nope.
be
Nope.
towards
Past it.
turn number 7. Or turn number 8,
People-
excuse me.
People are telling me that I think Flashfire saying to they think I'm their favorite driver, and sorry to say, but I'm my favorite driver. Professionalism here, ladies and gentlemen. Heading into the carousel, Dip, I'm sorry, but
They're out of the carousel. That's out of the final
out
turn.
of the carousel. Heading to the line. Dip will take the flag.
Green flag.
Green flag here at Watkins Glen. I am still in commentating.
They got to be really careful going into this corner. This is a
Yeah.
troublesome corner for this racetrack, as they're 3 wide already.
They're all
Third
over the
position.
place down through. And now the
14
bigger
lead.
problem center here is the S's. We've seen
Yep.
a lot of
Oh,
cars
God.
get turned around, cause major pileups here in the S's. And then another troublesome spot, we've seen several cars have problems here, including, I believe, Kyle Busch may have ran William Byron off the racetrack through that inner loop there in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. But seems like everybody is able to get through that clean and green.
And
The
the battle for
61.
second.
Yeah, the
Second.
61 jumped from about 5th place and took up 3 wide in the S's. He almost took second place away from the 8, but that 8 of DMP looking strong, able to hold on to that second spot.
And will we go lap 1, caution free? Oh, the 14 hit the wall.
No
Yes,
caution
we
though.
will. Now
And
we head into
14
the
leads.
giant turn.
Ryan Boyer leads early.
Oh But here comes DMP under
Here
attack,
comes
coming into the
DNP side by
inside.
side for P1. Builder's there as well.
And the 61 will follow the 14.
Oh, the 14 just not clear, and the 8's gonna have the inside position and coming into the bus stop.
The 26 dives low with the 8, trying to look inside of the 61 in the first turn of the bus stop. We saw DNP be able to hold off the 61 the last time he tried this move. It looks like the 26 will be able to make the pass.
And the 61's dropping.
The 8 couldn't get the position, couldn't keep his foot in it through the bus stop there, had to back out of it. Wonder if his car's not handling exactly the way that he would like it, but I know for sure that he had a shot at the 14 through the bus stop. He'll have another shot here down the front straightaway. He didn't get in the bus stop. Let's see if he gets it here.
It looks like a lot of cars are hitting the wall out of turn 9. And looks like Dip is making a pass to the lead. Will he get it?
Side by side again, and this time the 8 will clear that number 14 car. So we will have a pass for the race lead, something we didn't see at the last racetrack. And we've got actually, I think we have some cars around.
That caution, oh, huge wreck.
The number 9 of Chris Ganaban, Mua's Better is in it. And the 88, and I think there's some smoke coming off of that race car. The 99 is blowing up as well. But here's the race back to the caution. The 8 of DNP is your race leader.
2 by 2 heading into the...
Already past the carousel, Ben.
Here they come off turn 9, side by side to the line. DNP has the race lead by 0.04 of a second.
And that first caution, lap number 3. Let's see what happened.
Let us see what indeed transpired. Brought us under this first caution.
Well, like we had brought up earlier, the S's are a big trouble spot at this racetrack, so I'm not wondering if to see a classic S's wreck and someone just hit the wall and bounce off. It should be interesting to see what happened here.
As you see, the cars that were involved in that caution, the 99, 4, and 9, all right around each other, and the 88 is there as well. And they had gone side by side up through the S's, and it looks like the 99 just couldn't hold it on the bottom there. 4 turns the 9, and they get into it from there. The 9 coming back across the racetrack, and at this point, all of these guys just along for the ride.
99
the 88 gets a piece of the 99.
Looks like the 27 just was able to slow down enough and just kind of stop. That looks like he didn't pick up any or much, if any, damage whatsoever. Can't say that for the other 4 though. It's just a roadblock. 27's got nowhere to go. He's got that little gap, but that car can't fit through there.
There's no way, but bad news.
And just look at that. Look at that driving by the 27.
Jeez.
I think the only contact, if any, was that last second touch from the 4. If that. But other than that, that's a pretty nice piece of driving by that 27 car.
Yeah, he looks pretty damage-free.
And the only cars ducking to the service of pit lane seem to be the cars in need of repairs. That'll be the 9, 88, and 4 ducking to the service of their teams. Now, another thing to note is that something that could be problematic for some of these guys is getting used to getting into their pit boxes on the right side. At every other racetrack other than the road course here in Watkins Glen, pit road is on the left side of, at least the pit boxes are on the left side of pit road. Here they're on the right, and oh, by the way, things could also get even more interesting because the gas man is seemingly gonna have to carry the gas can around the entirety of the race car, because the gas can, or the intake for the fuel, um, where they insert the can is on the left hand side of the race car,
Hey,
just the same as it would be for any other racetrack.
and also, if I'm not mistaken, this is the slowest pit road speed in the NASCAR circuit with 35
35
miles.
miles an hour
Am I
is the
correct?
pit
Is it
road
the
speed limit.
slowest? Is it the slowest in NASCAR?
Well, it's tied for slowest
I think with Martinsville and
Bristol.
Bristol, I think they're
with
35 as well.
Martinsville, Bristol, Dover, Sonoma,
Richmond
Oh
probably.
yeah. Actually, I think
Richmond
Richmond's
as
40.
well. I think
We could get a
maybe
fact
New
check from
Hampshire, but
fans.
New Hampshire might be 45.
I think New Hampshire's 45.
Yeah. No one ever look it up. I'm going to look it up because I'm quite
But
interested.
now you also start to wonder too, uh, how this race unfolds, if we'll have to talk about um, fuel mileage, because we've every single year in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, it seems that this event always comes down to fuel mileage at the end of it. We'll see if that is a topic of conversation in this series as well.
So I actually have the pit road speeds for 2018. I know it's probably not legit, but Daytona's the fastest, and I think tied with Indianapolis and some of the bigger tracks with 70 miles an hour. I'm right about
70?
yeah.
I
I think
think
it's
that might be
55.
average, because pit road speed,
Well, that
the
is the.
speed limit for Daytona
Anyways,
International Speedway, at least for NASCAR, is 55 miles an hour. Backing her way.
anyways, yeah.
And the 14 gonna drive it in there. There's
Oh,
contact.
Jake,
contact!
this might.
The
The
8
14 backed
doors,
out
the
of it.
Glen inside
14.
the 14.
That looked like Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr.
Doesn't look like much damage on either automobile.
Both of them
Had
still side by side as
the
they
bus
head for the
stop.
bus stop.
The
Yep,
88
looks
went to
like
go
my.
help the 14 car. Through the
Looks like he
Eight's
grass.
has a
actually gonna
great run
take
at
the
the bus
position.
stop.
So DNP back to the race lead.
Heading in.
And the first side-by-side battle comes all the way back here to the 78.
Now the 39 and 15.
Well, the 15 actually gets to the outside of the 78, so that will be the side-by-side I was talking about. That is for 11th. And then they actually will be side-by-side further up the field.
14 battling for the race lead now.
14 battles for the race
clears
lead,
the
and he
8.
gets back around the 8.
This
So
is gonna be great.
changing
action.
positions here up towards the front. A lot of action. And there goes the 1 trying, took a look, didn't quite have the
Oh, the 26 went wide.
conditions to his liking. Didn't make the move, but the 26 definitely gonna be aggressive. Drop to the inside on that 61 car. Get to his right side now, and that 61 is gonna have the inside positioning coming through 8. And so will the 2 of Banswicki, who we know has a good car here at these road courses.
Yeah, the 26, he was ahead of the 61. The 61 was actually looking to pass that 26 car, and the 26 went way wide in the bus stop and ended up losing a couple positions because of Banswicki. We know he's strong on road courses. He won at Sonoma. He was your pick to win this race. He's getting by the 61 for P5, and well, my pick was the 26 running P7 right now. So
1
a
and the
couple of our
12
picks
gonna be
running
side
up
by
front.
side for position number 3. And Max Weisner gonna get that spot.
So, you know what I think who also needs a good result is that is the 15 of Emily Winters. I'm pretty sure in the top 5 points. Stop it, but it's true. She does need a good points day to get back into the chase.
Well, she's 7th in points right now. She's 31 points behind Sharon and Kyle. But I mean, if you look, oh, we
Oh,
got a
far
problem in
out!
front.
That's
The
that was the
14.
14. Will there be a caution?
Yes, there is. There's a caution. Caution's out for the 14.
I don't think anyone else got involved. And yes, caution
Maybe the
does come out.
78.
I
That's great
believe,
news
if
for
I'm
the
not
8
mistaken,
car.
that 14 car was the only car involved in that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looked like the 8 just dumped him, but the 8 has fallen to 3rd because of what happened.
12 is actually
12
going to be
is
a race leader.
Parker, the winner
Wow.
of our SNS race at Dover, the Roblox series, has just taken the lead at Watkins Glen.
Oh, and it looks like on the back of the screen, the 78 got into the rear of the 14 car.
And that's a lot of damage to the side and rear end of that race car. Let's take a look. Let's see what happened.
He was leading last time by at the start finish line. It was the 8.
Oh wow,
The 8
yeah,
just
the 8
turned him.
just went underneath his quarter and just
And
turned
they
him.
were, and this is the battle for the race lead. The 8 looks to the inside on the 14, and the 14 slides up the racetrack just enough that DNP gets to his inside,
Just cleans him out.
but
Yeah.
the 8 just doesn't have the car to stay side by
yeah.
side, and the 14 gets turned, and he's gonna go for a wild slide
Oh,
that just
big rear
backs
damage.
it into the guardrail there.
I think the 11 might get extremely close. Let's see.
We're going to have to see how the 12 beat the 8 and the 1 to the line because he was running 3rd, or
Yeah,
he was running
we'll
4th.
take a look at that in just a moment.
Oh, so close to
The
the
11
to
almost
14.
clobbered the 14 car.
That reminded me of Dover.
And then the
Not
78
Dover,
just...
Arlington.
Oh
Nowhere
my
to go.
goodness!
Oh, man. That's almost a stationary race car versus one going 150 miles an hour.
That's
Uriarte
not
got
a
around
battle you
him.
want to be in. That is
No, it's
for
not.
sure.
For either driver.
Not a
It hit
good
to the heart.
situation, but
And there's
situation nonetheless.
Glen Ninja, the winner of Canadian Tire. He has damage. Don't know how much, but it's enough to put him
Left
in
side
the pit
damage.
road. Right? Who won Canadian Tire?
Yep. 78 won at Canadian Tire. Ryan Boyer, the winner in this series at Dover. But let's take a look at how the 1... Well, we know how the 1 and the 12 got by the 8. We know that much. Let's
We know
see...
that they did get by the 8.
Let's see the battle.
Oh.
Yeah, it happened as the wreck happened because the 8 gets slowed down by the 14. And so the two of them get around. And then the 12 just ends up taking away the inside positioning on the number 1.
Oh,
Yeah, it looked like he bumped Weissner out of the way.
I mean, if you
That almost gave the 2 third
That's all it
spot,
took.
but instead he hits the wall and he drops to 6th position.
I mean, bumpage racing. Well, that was a good move by the
Sorry,
by the
4th.
12.
Pardon me.
And oh, by the way, we might also want to keep an eye on this number 54 car because this 54 is the points leader right now.
Yep.
And he's currently running in 22nd.
Well, we really got to keep a look on that top 5. Obviously, the 54, we know he's had the points lead for pretty much the entire season. But also, the 22 of Sam Blaney didn't have a very good start and does not seem to be in the top 10. He's kind of a mid-tier car. Adrian D, he is running up towards the front, actually just ahead of the 22. Can you put the leaderboard back to the top? We might actually be able to see what position they are. It doesn't look like it, but they're just outside the top 10, it seems. And then behind Adrian D is Cole McElmoy running in the 5th position right now. So this could be a very good point stay. It seems like the 39 is in 12th and the 22 is in 13th. Well, that's 2nd and 3rd in our point standings. And then the 54 is way in the back, even behind the 19 who's sitting 6th. And then 5th is Payson Avery, who's just outside the top 10, also in 11th. So
And
and
by
then
the way,
Sharon and Emily. So
Yes,
oh,
by
by
the
the
way.
way, you might as well get your points out of the get your points now, because we know going into tomorrow's race from Talladega, yes, they're going to be running throwback schemes, but that doesn't make them any less the wiser going into a plate track, knowing what that race can very well bring. And that race could be an extreme wild card because, as you mentioned in the pre-race, all it takes is one car to get sideways, and we could have a 29-car pileup.
yes, we
Green
could.
flag, green flag, green flag. We're back racing, and I will have to inform we have our first DNF, the 99, with a clutch issue. He's currently DNF.
And
So,
that clutch issue transpiring from
Oh,
the lap 2
oh,
caution flag. The
61
78 and
went
the
way
14
wide in the
almost
end.
got back together. And we got, oh my
Oh,
caution,
goodness!
caution.
oh man,
Big trouble!
61,
And
the
they're gonna
11,
stack them
Minute.
up!
Oh my
the
god!
26.
We
Huge
talked in
wreck.
the pre-race about the
I'm
S's
not
being a bit of a
Chip.
trouble spot. And there it is.
Yep,
The 18 is destroyed.
it's the end of his day.
The 18 is destroyed, and the 26 goes for one of the wildest rides in recent memory of Watkins Glen. A lot of damage to the back end of the
Oh,
11
my
car.
God.
And here they come to the caution flag. It's going to be the 12 of Weisner, or the 12 of Parker, excuse me. Weisner P2, the 8 going to maintain the third position as they take that yellow flag. But let's take a look at this insanity that takes place.
We were just talking about how that 61 was the highest positioning among the top 5. Obviously, following is the 5 in 11th spot, and then we had the 22 and 13, and then Ad was in the in there somewhere and closer towards the back. Well, the 61 was having a good day. He just dropped a position, went a little bit wide in turn 1, but with Matt Nile diving down, I don't know if the spotter just said clear. Ben Pierce looking
I
under.
think it's the same issue that we saw earlier in the race.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
took out the 4.
Flashy
I mean,
he just got into the rear of Flashy. Flashy hit the 61. The 11 nowhere to go.
Couldn't
Yeah.
hold the line. Comes up the racetrack. The 77 is
Ooh,
there,
just
and
smacked the wall.
that's gonna end up
Oh.
allowing the
Damage.
26 to get into the 61, who gets into
Just-
the 11, and as they bounce off the wall, the 26 gets airborne.
I mean,
Oh, the 10 just barely gets by, and then the
Ooh.
18, nowhere for him to go. He had the 44 on his left side.
Oh, sure. On Kyle got a big lick on
The
the rear.
19 gets into the 18 as well. And actually, does the 7 pick up some damage? No, he doesn't.
No.
7 got it woed up just enough that he didn't get involved.
Well, hey, Dib,
But
I
I'm
think I know.
pretty sure that's coming from the helicopter cam. I'm pretty sure that's not the side of the 26 you really want to be seeing.
No.
Hey, Dib, I think I know what you're thinking. Let's go on board with the 26 and maybe the 61.
Well, you know what? Let's go for a wild ride here at Watkins Glen International.
Look at the flag, man. It's like you have crack cocaine.
Professionalism at its finest.
Yeah.
Let's ride on board.
So yeah, 61. He went way wide in the corner. That allowed the 13 to get under him. That held up the 77 of Flashy McClashy. And then they just get together. Oh man. It all happened so fast.
That's
all it takes. You're absolutely correct, Ben. That is definitely that is something that could happen to one of these guys at Talladega, and that will likely be the end of the 26's race. That's something that these guys are going to want to watch out for. is the fact that with the field being so close together at Talladega, the big wrecks can happen. Here they can happen too, as you saw, but it's not going to be at quite as big of a scale as it will be for Talladega.
Man,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
mean
wait.
the S's could take 5, 6, 7 cars out, but Talladega can wipe out a whole field.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, just think about that wreck, just 10 times more extreme.
yep, and at way faster pace, like almost 100 miles an hour faster.
Full throttle 200. Just,
Yeah, easily, almost 210 at Talladega. So
yeah. Will somebody beat Bill Elliott's lap record or?
So the cars out of the race after that will, understandably
Obviously,
so,
26.
be the number 61 of Cole McElmoyle, the 26 of Matthew Nile, and the 18 of Adrian Mobley.
Oh, eight. So,
that's all it takes to screw up a rainbow.
wow. So you saying something?
I'm
Anyways,
just no,
anyways, pretty sure.
my rainbow's out. My rainbow warrior.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were gonna your
The
gay.
PG Paints
What?
number 61 of Cole
I don't-
McElmoyle is the car that
Anyways,
they're referring to.
Heading
related
Back
to
in
the
the
car.
Geico
fourth
restart
caution
zone,
of the
lap
day.
13 of 23. We're back underway.
After the fourth caution.
Black flag for
back
the
of
pace
day.
car, by the way, speeding on pit road.
That's a pace car. Who cares? And heading into the first turn, 12 will lead them off. And the turn is 2, 3, 5.
Up through the S's they go. They're going to be side by side for a second. And we got a car off the fence.
Oh man, another one.
It was the 39.
No,
Somehow nobody gets caught up.
No caution yet.
No, there will not be. The 39 he's gonna pit for sure.
Oh goodness, that's big because now the 61 is out and he's sitting fourth in points. Now has huge damage on his side. He might have to pit to repair that. And now Sam Blaney sitting in most likely what would be 9th, maybe even 8th position now, and Coaster Enthusiast way in the back. This is huge for Sam Blaney.
17th.
Yeah.
And the only reason that he's even scored 17th is thanks to all the cars that are not still in this race.
Yeah. So this is
what they call huge points implications. And sorry,
here comes the one. The one on the bump for the 12. Will Parker make a mistake? Down into turns 1 and 2, the S's.
And who's right behind them? Matt Banswicki, the winner of Sonoma.
And he's going to go side by side with Weisner.
But does he have a runoff in the S's? No, he doesn't.
No.
They'll stay side by side. There might have been
position.
contact. No, there wasn't.
For the moment. The 8 is dropping like a rock. He just got passed by the 77 and the 13. And now here comes Sam Blaney.
You almost wonder if that 8 car doesn't have a little bit of damage from earlier in this race when he turned that 14 car.
You might have a little bit of nose damage, yeah, you're right. Parker looking to become just the first driver to ever win the SNS road race and the NR2003 race all in 1 week. We've never seen that happen before.
Well,
side by side for position number 2, and Banswicki's going to have the position.
I'm going to have it. Oh.
Actually, it might be the second driver. I think I might have done it. Chicagoland, and then I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way race.
I want an NR race.
Single file throughout the field. Let's ride on board with the number 2. As he chases down Parker and then number 12.
Two Fords up front leading the way, and Fords are just so strong here today.
It's probably because one of the commentators are giving monster. That's probably why.
3 of the top 5 is Ford, so Ford must have a pretty good road course package here this season.
And that 2 has pulled away from the 1. We know he's got a good road. We know that 2 team has a good road course program, thanks to his dominating performance at the Sonoma road course.
Yeah.
As he gets to the back bumper of
contact.
Oh, gives
Parker,
him a bump.
here he
Nice
goes.
shut him out of the way.
We'll see if this
No,
2 is
no.
able to get to the
5 to
good
go.
positioning.
It's go time for
He
this.
has a look.
For this 2 team. He must be thinking Parker's holding them up, and with 5 to go, anything goes at this point.
Parker's a severe driver, for sure.
Oh, it doesn't matter. The 2 could run him over at any moment. There he goes.
Oh, but the 12 gets the run through the bus stop.
The 12 is ready for it. Everyone's in the grass. Yeah, Ford has been so strong on the road courses. We've seen it all season long. Obviously, at Sonoma, we had the 2. Obviously, at CTMP, we had Granger Powerplane and the Chevy win. But then Honda Indy Toronto, we had Matthew Nile. He's also in Ford. So Fords have won 2 out of the 3 road course races, looking to make it 3 out of the 4 with the 12 and the 2 up front right now.
And
I think the 13 made the pass for 3rd.
Bit.
Yeah. The 13 has jumped into 3rd position, guys. Ford now has 1, 2, 3 up front.
Oh, man. This would be great. Not only a great day for either one of the 3 drivers, but it would be a great day for Ford as his line go 1, 2, 3 with 4 to go.
I think we've about reached the point of no return. Caution comes out, the race might end.
We will reach that when we take 2 to go.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe even next time by, if a caution comes out, that would end it. Because they got to race back in 2 pace laps. And I don't think they do a 1-lap shootout, so.
They would do a 1-lap shootout.
Did they? Okay, so maybe. We'll have to see.
Side by side back here, the 15
guys.
and the 44.
I don't care about that. Watch the battle. Watch the damn battle.
The 11. This is the. And. Well, it was the battle for 11. And now the 7 and the 19 side by side.
Can I just bring up how big this is for Sam Blaney currently? Everyone in that championship picture is outside of the top 10 except for that 5 car who actually just dropped out. You're at running fastest lap, by the way, DMP. Yeah, switch that back. There you go. The 5 car, he's in the championship race, currently 6th. He's in 10th. But that 22 car sitting in 7th currently. He's sitting pretty. He's just trying not to let anyone by him because the rest of his competitors are pretty far in the back. So.
And here on the bus stop, let's see who'll take it.
Oh! Side by side for the race lead.
12
Vanswicky to the inside of the 12.
Coming to
Neither
4 to
car
go
can get an advantage. They're just
both are just so strong.
Side by side. Both cars really good here from Watkins Glen.
The 2's gonna have the advantage.
Just not gonna be able.
Oh!
He just drops out.
Parker held him off.
Just loses it. Parker, the race leader. Will he be able to hold on though? There goes the 2 to the inside again. They'll be side by side through turn 1, and I think this time Vanswicky will get the spot. They're gonna be side by side still into the S's.
Parker isn't giving up.
Parker, he's cleared,
New
but
leader.
but can he pull a crossover? Not quite through 2, but turn 3. Both of these guys have pulled to a 1-second lead over 3rd.
Can that 12 stage a comeback?
Here comes the 12. Battle for the race lead heating up in these closing stages. Matt Vanswicky, your race leader. And now they're going to go side by side for 2nd, or for 3rd again. The 77 taking the position back.
Coming to 3 to go this time, guys.
3 laps to go. Car on the wall, the 15.
No caution. She saved it.
And by the way, the 12 is there. And he's going to have something to say to this number 2. Here comes Parker. Through 1 and 2. All over the back bumper of Vanswicky.
This looks exactly like Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. in real life. Truex is all
Except
over the
that
bumper.
Chase Elliott was a little bit further ahead.
The 12 just pushing the 2 at this point. This looks like a 2-car tandem almost out of road course.
Vanswicki, if he won this race, would be 2 for 2, or 2
Here
for
comes the
4
12.
at road courses. Side by side for position
Looking
1.
inside. He's on his
Parker's
outside.
on the
I don't think he's
outside,
gonna really.
but he'll have the inside positioning
He's
for
there.
turn 9. Can't quite keep it there.
No. He'll be able to dive it into turn 1 just like the 2 did a couple laps
He'll
ago.
get the run, and there he goes. Oh, but he's not going to have it.
No. 2 to
He
go.
has the stand line.
He could have dove it in, but it would have taken both of them out.
Through turns 1 and 2. Up through the S's they go. On board with the number 2 of Parker. Vanswicki pulling away a little bit. And now he's going to slide out the racetrack. Here comes Parker to the inside.
He just hit the gas.
And he just
Side by
powers
side.
it down the chute.
He's
And
gonna clear.
Parker
He's
back
cleared
to the race
Vanswicki.
lead. But will Vanswicki have a run?
Let's see. This will be the turn that matters. So we see who has the lead.
Is it all
Here they
that
come.
Vanswicki
White
has?
flag. 1 to go. But here comes
Oh,
Vanswicki. He drops to the
Oh,
inside.
whoa.
White flag.
Let's see.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see.
Inside the 2.
Would this be the first last lap pass this season? There goes Vanswicki. He takes the race lead away.
He's cleared.
Oh my god.
Is the 12 close enough to make a move in any one of these corners?
The 12.
I don't know.
Parker
He's
has
really
had the
gonna have
lead
to
for a
dive it.
majority of this race, and if he lost it now, he would be absolutely furious.
Let's see who else. Who
Can the 12
Who will?
catch up to him in the
No.
carousel?
I
The
don't know
2.
that he's going to be able to get to him.
I don't think he has
He
enough.
might
2
have
with
a
his
run, though. Here comes the
sizable
12.
I don't think. I think he does. I think he used up all of his tires.
I think he
don't
used
think
it
he
up.
has enough.
I think Vanswicki's got it.
Oh,
Through
but it's not
turns,
over until the
turn
last
8,
is.
turn 9, not
Nine.
going to get there.
He's done it.
Turn
No.
4, to the checkered flag.
And
Matt
2 for 2
Vanswicki,
horses. 2 for 2
winner at Watkins
horses.
Glen.
And you will win the gold bowling at the Glen. And wow. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god.
What a finish to this race.
Holy dooly. I am so glad I was able to commentate that. Wow. That was side
And the
by
22
side.
of Sam Blaney gets 8th. We're going to have to see where Coaster Enthusiast and Adrian D end up. We all know Cole McElmile is out of this race. He'll come in the 30 or in the 20s, late 20s somewhere. The 5 of Pace and Avery had a good day, finishing 10th position. Oh my goodness gracious.
And
Second road course win.
2 for 3.
Who would have thought Matt Vanswicki, the road course master?
He did it. He had Marcus Ambrose did. Did pretty much what he did.
And
Huh.
by the way, we ran 4 road courses this year. That's more than on the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule. They typically only run 3.
Dim.
Yep.
Dim, I have a question.
So maybe that's an advantage for him. Seeing as
Dim,
it's
I have
the
a question
5th of the
for you.
schedule, actually.
Dim, can I ask you a quick question? Have you ever seen
Yes,
a
I have,
race
actually.
like this?
Yes, yes, we have seen plenty of last lap passes here from Watkins Glen. I think including, or at least that we've seen a close battle. Do not remember the 2016 race here from Watkins Glen.
Oh my.
You know which
Was
two,
that the
and you
battle
know which
between-
2 drivers were duking it out coming to the line?
Was that Hamlin's first road course win?
Denny Hamlin coming to the line, and Martin Truex Jr. was scored as
Got it.
position number 2,
Yeah, it
at
was
least
last
into
lap.
turn number 9, and there was contact between the 78 and the 2 of Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin came to win that race.
My God. This is probably the best race I've ever commentated with an average. I can't
I
talk.
I don't. Ford has had kind of a rough season. Obviously, they won the Daytona 500, but these road courses have really been the strength of those Mustangs, man. Matt Vanswicki obviously winning Sonoma, and now here at the Glen, and then we had Matthew Nile win at Honda Indy Toronto, the street circuit. So Ford has been on fire.
And there's your full finishing order. Vanswicki first, Parker second, Flashy third, DNP fourth, Robot fifth, Matt Wynn sixth, Max Weisner seventh, Sam Blaney eighth, Ben Navarro ninth, Payson Avery 10th.
My God.
And then Creeper of Hope coming home 11th, Brian Anders 12th, Emily Winters 13th, Sharon Kyle 14th, 15th for Brandon Del Pino, 16th for Coaster Enthusiast, 17th for Ad, 18th for Garrett Scheima, 19th for George Uriarte, 20th for Carlos Tavares, 21st Ben Pierce, 22nd Ryan Boyer, 23rd Chris Ganaban, 24th Winterwolf, 25th Max Weisner, Muse Better, 25th, 26th was Greninja Talonflame. All 26 cars that finished the race finished with lead lap status, and then the 4 cars that did not finish were the 61 of Cole McElmoyle, the 26 of Matt Nile, the 18 of Adrian Mobley, and for what I believe is the possibly the 6th time for James Youngerman, a DNF for him running out the field in 30th.
Yeah. There's nothing else I can say.
But as previously mentioned, the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway. That's the next stop on the Southwest NASCAR Sim Series circuit. And boy, howdy, will that one be a good race.
Everyone within that top 10 is petrified of this racetrack. We've brought it up a couple times. The big one at Talladega, you never know when it's going to strike. You can never be too careful at Dega. Oh man, we all know Flash or I Coaster Enthusiast. He had a rough race, finishing 16th position. We just got to know where that puts Sam Blaney points wise compared to that 54. And if it's within 20, 30 points, it could be anyone's championship to win. Dega, it could be a surprise winner. It could be a championship contender. But I'm so looking forward to this race tomorrow night.
Just to put this into perspective, tomorrow's race from Talladega Superspeedway is the race that I've been looking forward to
I think everybody
since before we even started this series.
Oh yeah.
Talladega is easily the most exciting race that we will have on this season 1 schedule. And what better positioning on the schedule for a close, hard-fought, aggressive race where it's anybody's race. Could we have imagined than Talladega coming in and to set up the finale from Homestead?
It's just going to be crazy. If Flashy wrecks out and say a guy like Adrian D, who's sitting in third, he's going to drop a little bit. Maybe even Payson Avery, who's going to gain some spots after this one. If a guy like Payson wins this race and Flashy finishes 26th, that's it. Payson will probably be ahead of that 54 car in this upcoming race. It's just unbelievable. I'm so looking forward to this race. This could potentially shake up the championship situation insurmountably. It's just going to be exciting. I'm so looking forward to this race tomorrow.
I mean,
and oh, by the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the championship fight's going to be closer than it has been all season long.
Absolutely.
Hey, Deb, know what this is going to turn out to be? it's gonna turn out to be the last race, '93, where 5 to 7 drivers could have won the Winston Cup Championship in '92. That's what it's gonna come down to. It's gonna
Yeah.
be it's gonna be like 1992 Atlanta, the Hooters 300, I think it was, or the 500. I cannot wait for Talladega, of course it has to be the second to last race until the finale at Homestead. It
Put it
just
this way.
happens to be.
Just put it this way. The 54 is not going to have any friends come this race. We
No,
all know
nobody's
going to want to be pushing this guy because everyone's going to want to be putting his ass to the back. No one's going to want that 54 up front so that he can get the least amount of points and everyone else can get the most. It's just going to be crazy. The 54 is going to be a lone ranger. It's
This
going to be a
is gonna be
1v29 for that 54 car tomorrow.
Well,
it's gonna be
one
30.
thing's for sure. Following tomorrow's race, I will be doing the points, the update to the points live, so that you know which driver has a shot or which drivers have a chance at winning that championship mathematically. And then we'll go into Homestead come a week from tomorrow. That final race will be taking place on September 1st, 2019. And we'll see. Will it be Coaster Enthusiast with a shot at it, or will it
Could
be someone
Flashy
else? I
could
think
Flashy
Coaster's
come from
definitely gonna have
behind?
a shot at it for sure, but we'll just have to wait
Just
and see what
find it out.
what
What it's gonna
Talladega
happen?
Super Speedway has to
It's
bring.
gonna
But
throw
until
out.
then, you've been watching the Southwest NASCAR Sim Series racing from Watkins Glen International. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Eastern for the running of the Geico 500. Until then, thanks for watching and take care, everyone.